Hello and welcome. Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Gautam Roy, and coming up in the next hour. Rescue operations in the Silkyari collapsed tunnel in India's Uttarakhand succeed. All 41 trapped workers brought out safely one by one. Palestinians and Israelis welcome the extension of truce. More hostages and prisoners exchanged. Qatar says it's focused on extending it further beyond Wednesday. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak cancels his Athens meet with his Greek counterpart over the return of the Parthenon marbles row. And the curtains come down on the 54th International Film Festival of India. Hollywood legend Michael Douglas honoured with the Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award.
इंडिया
मैं आपसे
बहुत प्यार
करता हूँ. That's amazing.
Well, this has been our top story through the day, and it's from India's northern hilly state of Uttarakhand, where rescue efforts, which had been going on for the last 17 days since Diwali, have finally borne fruit. Workers started to emerge one by one from the Silkyara tunnel in Uttarakhand a little before 8 p.m. IST or 2:30 p.m. GMT, and all 41 of them had been brought out safely a little after 8:30 p.m. IST or 4 p.m. GMT. So just a matter of a little over half an hour, about 40-45 minutes. A breakthrough was made earlier in the day when the last few meters of obstruction was breached. The 800mm wide pipe, which was being laid for the last few days to enable the workers to come out, reached them after some manual digging carried out by 12 rat miners, specially flown in for the last mile effort. After putting all measures from medical to logistics in place, the workers were brought out. And these are the happy images that you can see on the screen. The workers also being felicitated by Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami and General V.K. Singh, Union Minister of State of the Government of India. And reactions on the successful rescue of 41 workers have been coming in. They've been pouring in. President of India, Draupadi Murmu, has posted on X, and I quote, "I feel relieved and happy to learn that all the workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand have been rescued. Their travails over 17 days as the rescue effort met with obstacles have been a testament of human endurance. The nation salutes their resilience and remains grateful to them for building critical infrastructure, even at great personal risk, far away from their homes. I congratulate the teams and all experts who have acted with incredible grit and determination to perform one of the most difficult rescue missions in history." Unquote. And let's also tell you what Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India has said about this rescue that has been carried out of the workers. Let's get that tweet up on the screen as well. You can see that he said that he's very, very emotional, and it is an operation. Its success is a very emotional affair. He said that the bravery and the patience that these workers have shown, it's very inspirational. And he said that I really am very, very taken up by the kind of skill that has been shown by the people who've been involved in this entire rescue operation. And he is praying for their, well, good health and also for their success in the future. And he said it gives him immense satisfaction that after such a long wait, these workers, these shramiks as they call in India, Shramveer, they're also called brave workers. They will be able to meet their families and their family and friends. And with that, he's also saying that it's a great testimony to the kind of patience and brave sentiment that these people have shown as well. He's also hailed the contribution of those who were busy through these days trying to get these workers out. He's saying he salutes them. He is extremely full of praise really for the bravery of the kind of determination that these people have shown by giving a new life to these workers. And he's given a complete, he's absolutely bowing to the bravery and the ability of these workers, and he's saying that they have really set an example for everyone. And while reacting to the news, India's Minister of Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, posted on X as well, and I quote, "I'm completely relieved and happy as 41 trapped labourers in the Internatinal collapse have been successfully rescued." He said this was a well-coordinated effort by multiple agencies, marking one of the most significant rescue operations in recent years. Various departments and agencies complemented each other despite facing numerous challenges. Tireless and sincere efforts by everyone, coupled with prayers from all, have made this operation possible. The dedicated endeavours of the rescue teams have yielded favourable results. I express gratitude to each agency and individual involved in this rescue operation. Deep appreciation for the international rescue experts, administrative officers and the Uttarakhand government for their swift and effective response. I take this opportunity to thank Honourable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has been constantly monitoring the entire operation and providing guidance and support whenever required. Chief Minister Uttarakhand, Shri Pushkar Singh Dhami ji, and my colleague Shri General V.K. Singh ji almost camped through the entire period there during the operation. Last but not the least, I thank the officers and engineers of the Ministry of Road Transport for their sincere efforts. And the minister also spoke to the media about this successful rescue effort. Listen in.
मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि सिल्कियारा टनल के हादसे के कारण जो 41 मजदूर फंसे हुए थे वो बाहर निकले और उनकी जान बची है। सभी एजेंसियों ने विशेष रूप से पीएमओ के मार्गदर्शन में भारत सरकार की सब एजेंसीज, उत्तराखंड सरकार और वहां की स्थानिक जनता और सब लोगों ने रात दिन मेहनत की, परिश्रम किए, अलग अलग पर्यायों पर काम किया और उसके बाद ये सफलता मिली है। ये बहुत गहरा संकट था, पहली बार इस प्रकार का अनुभव आया। इन लोगों की जान बची, उन लोगों को मैं बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, शुभेच्छाएं देता हूं।
Let's in fact take you for a live input across to Uttarakhand, where the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh is addressing the media.
मैं सबसे पहले तो बाबा भौखनाथ जी को नमन करता हूं, प्रणाम करता हूं कि उनकी कृपा से ये आज एक बहुत चुनौतीपूर्ण काम, जिसमें हमारे श्रमिक भाई 16 दिनों से भी लगातार अंदर संघर्ष कर रहे थे और पूरा देश उनके लिए बाहर संघर्ष कर रहा था। इस पूरे अभियान में लगे हुए सभी कर्मचारियों को, सभी कार्मिकों को, सभी विशेषज्ञों को, सभी हमारे वैज्ञानिकों को, सभी भारत सरकार की संस्थाओं को और एक एक व्यक्ति जो मीडिया से भी थे, उन समेत मैं सबका धन्यवाद करता हूं कि इस बहुत ही कठिन और चुनौतीपूर्ण काम को सभी लोगों ने अपना सहयोग प्रदान किया और बहुत चुनौतीपूर्ण काम होते हुए भी प्रातःकाल और शाम दोनों टाइम हमारे प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय मोदी जी लगातार इस रेस्क्यू अभियान की हमसे, सभी लोगों से लगातार जानकारी करते थे, लगातार अपना जो सहयोग देना था, जो उनका एक संबल था और उनका जो एक सहयोग और हम लोगों को जो भरोसा था और जो उन्होंने, मैं कहूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से उन्होंने मुझे एक काम भी दिया हुआ था, ये ड्यूटी दी थी कि किसी भी तरीके से इन सबका समन्वय करते हुए बाहर निकालना है। तो उनका अगर संबल न होता, उनका इतना जिस प्रकार से आज भारत सरकार की सारी हमारी एजेंसियां इस काम में लगी, तो निश्चित रूप से जो कठिन काम भी हमारे लिए आसान हो गया मैं उनका भी धन्यवाद करता हूं कि और अभी भी उन्होंने जैसे ही हमारे सभी श्रमिक भाई बाहर आए, उनका अभी दूरभाष पर फोन आया था और उन्होंने कहा कि सभी को मेडिकल उनका चेकअप ठीक से करना है, उनके परिजनों की सबकी कुशल क्षेम जानी, उनकी चिंता करनी है, उनके घरों तक ले जाने की उनकी व्यवस्था करनी है। सभी प्रकार से उन्होंने संपूर्ण चिंता करने का काम किया है। हमारे और भी सभी लोग इस काम में लगे हुए थे और विशेषकर से उत्तराखंड के हमारे सभी देवी देवताओं का भी मैं उनको भी नमन करता हूं कि उन्होंने बहुत काम किया। हमारे राष्ट्रीय जो सड़क परिवहन मंत्रालय है उसमें आदरणीय गडकरी जी बीच में आए, उन्होंने भी यहाँ पर हर तरीके से इसको देखा और हमारे जनरल बीके सिंह जी, इनका मैं विशेष रूप से सबकी तरफ से और उत्तराखंड वासियों की तरफ से इनका मैं धन्यवाद इसलिए करता हूं कि एक कैंप बनाकर लगातार यहाँ पर रहे और एक दिन भी इन्होंने यहाँ से कभी ये नहीं सोचा कि मैं यहाँ से कहीं बाहर जाऊं और इस कठिन काम को लोगों को लगातार संबल प्रदान करने का काम, उनको प्रोत्साहन करने का काम और पूरा हमारा जहाँ सभी एजेंसियां लगी हुई थी वहीं पीएमओ के भी सभी अधिकारी अपने अपने तरीके से इस पूरे अभियान को अपना सहयोग प्रदान कर रहे थे, योगदान प्रदान कर रहे थे। आगे आने वाले समय में हम ये जो जितने भी हमारे इस प्रकार के टनल उत्तराखंड के अंदर चल रहे हैं उन सभी की समीक्षा भी करेंगे और वैसे तो भारत सरकार ने इसमें सेफ्टी ऑडिट कर दिया है जिससे आगे निकट भविष्य में हमको इस प्रकार की किसी परेशानियों का सामना न करना पड़े। मैं सभी श्रमिक भाइयों को उनके उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए, उज्जवल जीवन के लिए मैं उनको सबको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, उनके परिजनों को भी उनको भी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और लगातार इतना कठिन चुनौतीपूर्ण काम जिसमें आपने देखा कि ऑगर मशीन मंगाई गई और पहले इंदौर से मंगाई गई, हैदराबाद से मंगाई गई और जिस प्रकार से मशीन बार बार अंदर टूट जा रही थी, जिस प्रकार से फंस जा रही थी, वहां पर गडर आ जा रहे थे, तमाम हार्ड रॉक आ जा रही थी, उसके कारण से वो बार बार रुक रही थी। लेकिन जो हमारे दिल्ली जल बोर्ड के और गोरखपुर से जो नीचे जाकर मैनुअल माइनिंग करने वाले थे उन सभी का भी मैं अपनी ओर से धन्यवाद भी करता हूं, उनका मैं अभिनंदन करना चाहता हूं। मैं सभी से एक से अभी मिला हूं और उन मजदूर भाइयों से भी मिला हूं जो बाहर निकल कर आए हैं। सभी लोगों ने कहा कि हमको हर संभव कभी अंदर किसी प्रकार की परेशानी नहीं हुई। निश्चित रूप से ये हम लोगों के लिए एक बहुत सुकून वाली बात है कि इतना बड़ा एक आपदा आने के बाद भी सारे लोग जो है सकुशल बाहर निकल पाए। देखिए अलग अलग थे, जैसे कि अंदर विशेष रूप से जो हमारी शुरू से बात हो रही थी उसमें सबा अहमद, गब्बर सिंह और अखिलेश तीन इनके जो टीम लीडर थे उनसे लगातार हमारी बात हो रही थी। उसके बाद आने वाले सभी लोगों से लगातार बात हुई है। सभी पूरे देश भर के जितने भी मजदूर भाई उसके अंदर थे सभी ने स्वयं ही आकर, चूंकि उनके लिए बहुत ही भावुक क्षण था, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी उन्होंने कहा कि हमको किसी परेशानी का कोई सामना नहीं। मेरा सवाल अहम है, उनको मैं बता रहा हूँ, उनको उन्होंने ये कहा कि मैंने कहा आप लोगों को अंदर किसी प्रकार की कुछ चिंता तो नहीं हो रही थी। उन्होंने कहा नहीं, शुरू के दिनों में जरूर हमको चिंता हुई, लेकिन उसके बाद से जब आपसे बात हो गई, अन्य सभी लोगों से लगातार कम्युनिकेशन होने लगा, तो हमको पूरा भरोसा हो गया था कि आप लोग हमारी चिंता कर रहे हैं और हम अंदर नहीं रहेंगे, हम बाहर निकलेंगे।
एक मिनट, सवाल ये है कि क्या आप जो रेस्क्यू के
नहीं, वो अच्छा प्रश्न पूछा, मैं बता रहा हूँ। एक मिनट इन्होंने जो पूछा मैं बताता हूँ। देखिए ऐसा है, नहीं, अरे पहले एक मिनट, अरे इन्होंने जो पूछा मैं बता रहा हूँ। देखिए ऐसा है, ये सब लोगों ने बैठ के तय किया था कि जो सबसे छोटे होंगे उनको सबसे पहले निकाला जाएगा और जो टीम लीडर है वो 5 लोग वो सबसे अंत में निकले हैं।
तो ये
हाँ, एज में और जो भी क्राइटेरिया बनाया गया था
सबको निकाल लिया गया है, सबको निकाल
जिस दिन देखिए ये 16 तारीख को जिस दिन ये अभियान तेजी से चल रहा था और लगभग 24 मीटर के आसपास पहुंच गया था, अचानक वाइब्रेशन तेज होने लगा और मशीन भी अंदर जाकर फंस गई। वो मोमेंट बहुत ही कठिन था और चूंकि उस दिन मैं एक कार्यक्रम के बाद मैं जैसे ही भोजन करने को जाने वाला था 3-3:30 बजे और मुझे जैसे सूचना मिली तो वो मुझे एकदम से बहुत बड़ा मुझे एक झटका जैसा लगा, लेकिन मेरा ईश्वर पर और बाबा बौखनाथ पर पूरा भरोसा था कि वो निश्चित रूप से सबका जीवन बचाएंगे, सबको सुरक्षित बाहर निकालेंगे और उनका आशीर्वाद
पूछने दो। आगे की प्रक्रिया क्या होगी? देखिए अभी उनको अस्पताल भेजा जाएगा, 24 घंटे के ऑब्जर्वेशन में रखा जाएगा, उनको घर भेजा जाएगा।
देखिए ऐसा है कि अभी वो सारे के सारे एक लंबी चूंकि हवा पानी और एक अलग वातावरण से बाहर आए हैं, तो अभी जो डॉक्टरों की सलाह होगी उसके आधार पर ही हम लोग काम करेंगे। उसके आधार पर उसके बाद उनको घर भेजना होगा या जो भी करना होगा, पहले मेडिकल सुपरविजन में उनको रखा जाएगा, उनकी मॉनिटरिंग की जाएगी, उसके बाद आगे की कार्रवाई।
कोई क्रिटिकल तो नहीं है सर?
नहीं, कोई क्रिटिकल नहीं, सारे सामान। एक मिनट इनको पूछने दो, उसके बाद आपके पास आ रहे हैं।
सर वर्कफोर्स कितना था, कितने लोगों को लगाया हुआ था, खासतौर पर अगर ऑपरेशंस की बात करें?
कितना बड़ा इन टर्म्स ऑफ नंबर?
देखिए अब ये नंबर तो मैं आपको देख के बता दूंगा, लेकिन इसमें जिन जिन लोगों की भी आवश्यकता पड़ी और देश के अंदर और विदेशों में भी जो टेक्नोलॉजी और जो विशेषज्ञ इसके थे, हमने सभी से कंसल्ट किया था और जो सबसे अच्छा रेस्क्यू हो सकता था उस तरफ हम लोग बढ़े। हालांकि कठिनाई आई।
एक मिनट बात कंप्लीट कर लेंगे। जी सर बोलिए।
जी सर तो वो अभी एस्टिमेट लगाना मुश्किल है,
वो आपको बता देंगे अलग से। और जितने भी लोग लगे
यहाँ पे कौन थे? आपका हो गया।
आप भी बाबा बागनाथ के मंदिर में गए, वीके सिंह भी बाबा बागनाथ के मंदिर में गए। गांव वालों का कहना है कि जब तक मंदिर नहीं बनेगा हम आगे काम नहीं होने देंगे। क्या सरकार
वो पहले ही हम लोगों ने तय कर लिया है कि मंदिर वहाँ पर बनेगा, बाबा बागनाथ की कृपा से।
गाँव वालों से पूछने से पहले ही वो डिसाइड हो गया।
वो डिसाइड हो गया ऑलरेडी। सो मोटो हम लोगों ने
एक मिनट बाबा, एक मिनट।
इस पूरी कड़ी में रैट माइनर्स की भूमिका कितनी अहम थी? वो अंतिम पड़ाव में आए और पूरा ये
आपने शायद मैंने जो सबसे पहले बीच में बोला था, आपने शायद उसको ध्यान नहीं दिया। वो उनकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका थी। दिल्ली जल बोर्ड से भी आए थे, गोरखपुर से भी आए हुए थे। उन लोगों ने मैनुअली जाकर जो काम किया वो बहुत निर्णायक इस पूरे अभियान को निर्णय तक पहुंचाने का काम उन्होंने भी किया है।
सर मजदूरों के लिए किसी राहत राशि का ऐलान किया गया, कोई समर्थन राशि उनके लिए?
नहीं, सभी
सर समर्थन राशि, राहत राशि।
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ट्वीट किया है, फर्स्ट डे से लास्ट दिन तक वो चुनावी व्यवस्था के बावजूद इस पर मॉनिटरिंग करते रहे। उनकी संवेदनाएं पूरे देश ने देखी है, क्या कहेंगे?
मैंने आपको शुरुआत में ही कहा था कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का अगर इतना विशेष इस पर अभियान पर ध्यान नहीं होता, विशेष उनका जोर नहीं होता, तो इतना कठिन चुनौतीपूर्ण अभियान इस तरीके से पूर्ण करना आसान नहीं होता। और उन्होंने और अभी भी उनका कितना ध्यान है कि प्रातःकाल जब वो चुनाव अभियान में निकलते होंगे, प्रत्येक दिन जानकारी लेते थे और किस प्रकार से रेस्क्यू अभियान को चलाना है उस प्रकार से करते थे। एक तरह से मैं उत्तराखंड का मुख्य सेवक हूँ, मुझे उन्होंने एक काम दिया हुआ था कि किसी भी तरीके से इस काम को सफलता की ओर ले जाना है।
कोई और है?
आपने कब ठाना कि मुझे यहाँ कैंप करना पड़ेगा और आपने लगातार कैंप किया?
नहीं, मैं दीपावली के अगले दिन यहाँ आया था और उस दिन के बाद फिर मैं लगातार यहाँ आता रहा बीच में। और एक समय ऐसा आया कि अभियान हमारा बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा था, फिर बीच में रुका। जब बीच में अभियान रुका तो उसके बाद मैंने तय किया कि जब तक ये अभियान पूरा नहीं होगा मैं सारा कामकाज यहीं पर रुककर करूंगा, कामकाज भी करूंगा और इस अभियान को भी पूरी तरह से देखूंगा।
एक मिनट
नहीं, राहत राशि के लिए देखिए, राहत राशि के लिए हमने अभी सभी श्रमिक भाइयों के लिए अपने उत्तराखंड राज्य की तरफ से 1-1 लाख रुपए की जो है व्यवस्था की है। 1-1 लाख रुपए की जो है कल हम उनको सभी को चेक सौंपेंगे और भी जो सहायता होगी वो करेंगे। और NHI DCL जिसमें वो सभी लोग काम करते हैं उनसे भी हम अनुरोध करेंगे कि उस हमारे इन श्रमिक भाइयों को जो 41 हैं उनको जो है कुछ दिनों के लिए 15 दिन 20 दिन या 1 महीने के लिए सवेतन उनको जो है उनके घर जाने के लिए और रहने की जो है अनुमति दे दें।
धन्यवाद सर। कितने घंटे की
एक मिनट इनको पूछ लेने दे भाई। जो रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन था उसका मैग्नीट्यूड हम समझना चाह रहे थे सर, मे बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ द कॉस्ट जो भी लगी या वर्कर, और दूसरा क्या एयरलिफ्ट करने की बात आ रही है, नॉट फॉर मेडिकल बट घर जाने के लिए।
अभी देखिए, सबसे पहले अभी सभी लोग बिल्कुल जो भी अभी चेकअप हुआ है आने के बाद उनका ब्लड प्रेशर चेक हुआ है, अन्य जो भी जरूरी जो शुरुआती जो लक्षण होते हैं वो किसी प्रकार के किसी भी कमजोरी के या किसी थकावट के किसी बुखार के कोई भी लक्षण उनके अंदर नहीं है, सारे के सारे स्वस्थ हैं। और इतना बताऊं कि जब उनके लिए अंदर स्ट्रेचर की व्यवस्था की थी कि वो स्ट्रेचर से आए, उसमें स्ट्रेचर में नहीं आए, सारे लोग क्रॉलिंग करके आए हैं, तो वो सब स्वस्थ हैं और अच्छे तरीके से थे। इसलिए
पहला सवाल जो मेरा था, एक मुझे हम लोग को मैग्नीट्यूड समझा दीजिए, कितना बड़ा ऑपरेशन था, मे बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ कितना कॉस्ट आया या फिर इन टर्म्स ऑफ कितना वर्क।
अब देखिए, अभी तो पहले कॉस्ट को देखते कि हम लोग पहले उनके जीवन को सुरक्षित बचाते या उनको बाहर निकालते। हमारी पहली प्राथमिकता थी कि कॉस्ट कितनी भी लगे। हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा था कि किसी भी कीमत पर सबको सुरक्षित बाहर निकालना, ये हमारी प्राथमिकता थी। धन्यवाद।
Well, there you got a live press conference from the spot of Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami. Accompanying him was General V.K. Singh, Union Minister of State as well, and they gave an extensive briefing on how these workers are, and they're saying they're they seem very hale and hearty because they were offered stretchers, and all of them crawled out of the tunnel, the 800 mm tunnel that was laid out to bring them out. And he said regardless of that, they are being kept under medical supervision for the time being, and whatever has to be done going forward will be done after the advice or under the advice of doctors who are taking care of them. He's also said that they will be sent home with their salary for at least 15 days. And he's also said that this was a mammoth operation. It was something that required a lot of effort from a range of people. He couldn't put numbers right now. People trying to get or gauge the kind of strength of workers that were involved in getting these laborers out. He said that he does not have the numbers right now. He can't put a number in terms of the cost of the operation as well. The priority was, no matter how much the cost, no matter what it takes, these workers should be brought out, and it's a miraculous operation. 17 days inside a collapsed tunnel, these workers remained. They were inside even before that, working there. And then the tunnel collapsed on Diwali, which was the 12th of November, and they finally emerged now after an arduous 17 days there, where they had to be supplied in the interim with oxygen, with food, with water. First it was packaged food, then it was cooked food, and then communication was also established. And ever since there was communication that was established, the morale of the workers never really went down. They were always confident that they would be brought out hale and hearty, and that's what has happened right now. And he was a very relieved man. He was very grateful to the entire nation, which kept praying for these workers, and the prayers of over 1.45 billion people have been finally answered on this day, a very fortuitous day, in fact, because there was a forecast that the weather might turn for the worse from tomorrow itself. There's been rain in the plains, and it could then be in the hills as well. Let's also listen in to V.K. Singh, General V.K. Singh, Union Minister.
वो हमको मिली, कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है। जितने साधन जुटाए गए हैं, इतने साधन किसी और ऑपरेशन के अंदर नहीं जुटे होंगे। दूसरी चीज, सब चीजों के अंदर बहुत अच्छा कोऑर्डिनेशन है।
सर, हिंदुस्तान का सबसे बड़ा ऑपरेशन हिंदुस्तान का सबसे बड़ा ऑपरेशन
ऐसा है कि जहां तक टनल के ऑपरेशन में इतने लोग फंसे थे, उनको निकालने के लिए जो चीज चाहिए थी, हर एक चीज की जरूरत पड़ती है। ये कहना कि ये बड़ा या छोटा वो नहीं होता। इस ऑपरेशन के लिए जो चीज चाहिए होती है वो पूरी हमने इकट्ठी की।
सर, विदेश देश में भी आपने लगातार यहाँ रुककर वो ताकत दिखाई। एक तरीके से आप अब मोदी सरकार के हनुमान माने जाते हैं, जहां होते हैं वहां ऑपरेशन।
आज हनुमान जी का दिन है।
सर, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लगातार इस ऑपरेशन में भूमिका निभाई। एक सवाल, प्रधानमंत्री जी की भूमिका और जिस तरह संवेदनशीलता रही इस पूरे ऑपरेशन में, क्या कहेंगे?
प्रधानमंत्री जी का पूरे टाइम।
And India's Home Minister Amit Shah also reacted to the news of successful rescue of 41 workers. He posted on X, and I quote, "It's great news for the nation that all our 41 Shramik brothers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand have been rescued safe and sound. The nation salutes their grit in facing such a challenging situation in the tunnel for so long. My heartfelt gratitude to all the people and the agencies that have been making tireless efforts to save the lives of our fellow citizens." And India's Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari spoke to the media and expressed happiness at the successful rescue mission whereby all the workers were safely taken out.
मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि सिलकियारा टनल के हादसे के कारण जो 41 मजदूर फंसे हुए थे वो बाहर निकले और उनकी जान बची है। सभी एजेंसियों ने विशेष रूप से पीएमओ के मार्गदर्शन में भारत सरकार की सब एजेंसीज, उत्तराखंड सरकार और वहां की स्थानिक जनता और सब लोगों ने रात दिन मेहनत की, परिश्रम किए, अलग अलग पर्यायों पर काम किया और उसके बाद ये सफलता मिली है। ये बहुत गहरा संकट था, पहली बार इस प्रकार का अनुभव आया। इन लोगों की जान बची, उन लोगों को मैं बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, शुभेच्छाएं देता हूं। और इसमें जान बचाने में जिन जिन भारत सरकार की एजेंसियों ने और राज्य सरकार की एजेंसियों ने और सभी हमारे इंजीनियर्स थे, रात दिन अपने जोखिम लेकर जो काम किया है, उन सबको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं, उनके आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। ये घटना ने भी हमको सीखने के लिए बहुत कुछ मिला है। अब हम लोग इसके बारे में टनल का सेफ्टी ऑडिट भी करने वाले हैं और टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ कैसे हम लोग ज़्यादा से अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग कर सके, ये भी कोशिश करेंगे।
So there you heard the Union Minister concerned of India, Nitin Gadkari, talking about how he is happy about the successful rescue effort, and he said there will be an audit, a safety audit that will be conducted of this tunnel. You also heard Pushkar Singh Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, earlier saying that all the work, tunneling work that is going on in Uttarakhand will be reassessed in the light of what has happened in Silkyara. Now, DD India's Dibendu Mondal is joining us live from Uttarkashi, and we're also joined by Professor Santosh Kumar, National Institute of Disaster Management, as our guest. Good evening to you both. Dibendu, what can you tell me in terms of the state of these workers? Pushkar Singh Dhami was very elated, responding to reporters saying that the workers were offered stretchers, but they crawled out themselves, so they seem to be in pretty good spirits and health. But what's the latest that you're getting at the hospital?
Well, of course, Gautam, you know, the workers crawled themselves out, so that was something that the Chief Minister was himself finally seeing them crawl out from that escape passage that was made through the manual drilling. The last few meters of the manual drilling, they are in fact the latest that we have is they are on their way to this makeshift hospital. This is a primary healthcare center that you can see behind me at about 30 kilometers from the site of the disaster, Silkyara. So the 41 ambulances are making their way here, and they could be here any moment from now. They have almost you can see some movements of the police personnel have also started here, and what we can say that from any moment now the 41 ambulances pardon me, the 41 ambulances that have started off from the Silkyara tunnel is about to reach here any moment. A green corridor has been created by the district administration of Uttarkashi for swift and fast movement of the ambulances to this primary to this district healthcare center here. So therefore, when they come here, they will be monitored by the expert team of doctors that has been constituted here to continuously monitor their health for the next 48 hours is what we are told. But the workers seem confident that they are completely fine, and they will be able to make home very soon from here at this makeshift hospital. Let us also tell our viewers that this is a primary healthcare center, but this has been made into a makeshift hospital for these rescued men now who are making their way in 41 ambulances from the Silkyara tunnel here about 30 kilometers downhill. So of course any moment now these ambulances could arrive, and we could see the ambulances going inside from this very gate here that you can see right behind me.
Okay, one can surmise the Mendu, that the workers are in a fairly decent condition considering the period that they were trapped inside, 17 days, because I believe arrangements were made to shift them even to AIIMS Rishikesh, and now they're being brought to this makeshift hospital in a primary health center, so there shouldn't be a lot of cause for concern. But can you tell us what will the doctors who will examine them here where you are be looking for in terms of ensuring that they are completely all right?
Well, as basic parameters, health parameters like their vitals, like their blood pressure, their blood sugar levels, their heartbeat, and all these important parameters would be looked into by the doctors who will be treating them once they arrive here. Apart from that, any physical injury, if any, would also be thoroughly checked by the doctors here. And also, there could be a possible a blood examination that could be done by the doctors here inside this hospital, to ensure that all the vital health parameters of all the 41 men who have been rescued just a while back after 17 days of being trapped inside the Silkyara tunnel is completely fine. Only then they will be allowed to go home with their loved ones who have come from across the country to meet their loved ones who were trapped inside this tunnel for the last 17 days.
All right, Divedu, stay with us if you can. Let me also introduce Professor B.W. Pandey, Department of Geology, Delhi University here, along with Professor Santosh Kumar, NIDM, is with us as well. Professor Kumar, if I could ask you first, the kind of operation this has been, how would you categorize it? People were trying to ascertain whether this is the largest rescue operation that's ever happened, but can one really say that this has been one of the most miraculous rescue operations, that none of the workers witnessed any harm at all through the course of the rescue operation, and now that they've been brought out completely safe? They seem to be even, at first glance, completely hale and hearty.
Yeah, this is a real transformatory kind of a response system which we had, and everyone to be congratulated. This is a real joy and celebrations for the country. This is the time that everybody was, the Honorable Prime Minister monitored since day one, and then the Honorable Chief Minister, and then down the line all the. So we say that in such rescue operations, the governance play a very, very important role. And there we find that if that is taken care of, the most of the thing will fall in place. So now, number one is that I would say that governance was very alert, and they were monitoring constantly, and every effort was being brought in terms of that strategic decisions taken, and then also that resource mobilization was done. And also when we see and the kind of understanding the whole of the situation, the first thing was done is to, in the first phase of the initial rescue operation, was that in the communication, and then lifeline services was brought under the control, so that the oxygen was there, the food supply was there, and also that constant communication with us. So that leads to the kind of that we say that today they are hearty and healthy, and constantly the message was given to them that everyone is concerned and everyone is putting their efforts, so do not worry. So this message has played a significant role in this. The second point which I would like to mention in terms of the technology which was used nationally and globally, whatever the available technology which can do the best of the rescue operations were brought to the spot, and then they were put to the use. But also we could see that that's not the technology, but the skillful kind of the human intervention, that is the manual laborers. So manual laboring in terms of the manual response, and which could play at the end of the last 2-3 days, and which has played as a kind of a last mile in terms of that. So what we say that the blend of the technology and that which we say that rat mining process, so that we say that is how that these two combines together. And finally the system, the disaster management system and the rescue system, that work in a very coordinated manner. National Disaster Response Force, the State Disaster Response Force, the railways, the other ministries, that all what we say that everyone put their heart and mind together in terms of...
Yes, all for one for all kind of an effort was there.
Exactly.
Let me bring in Professor Pandey as well.
I would say just one point, that we will say this is a very transformatory and this will make a kind of milestone in disaster response.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Professor Pandey, would you say, and there was a brief mention made by Professor Kumar as well of the riot miners, so there was out-of-the-box thinking involved as well, and that ultimately proved to be the clincher, didn't it?
Absolutely. This is a kind of miracle which had happened in such a vulnerable, young, fold Himalayan mountain environment, and the kind of tunneling, kind of the works construction which happened, this causes the collapse of the tunnel. And definitely it's the willpower of the government. It has become a global rescue operation. Whatever the best technology across the world, in the country, all operated simultaneously. And the best thing is that the response at the local level, that is really very much appreciable. So a teamwork, this is the win-win condition of the teamwork. And finally, at 2:30 p.m., India got good news. And also, this had given a very high reputation of the country at the global level. How India now operates in the rescue operation, it is it's kind of something which can be given example in the rest part of the world. And definitely from the central government to the local government, the way Honorable Prime Minister keep on watching 24 hours, the Honorable Chief Minister and the entire team, and mainly the local workers who were engaged and encouraging the trapped people. So it is really such a geological condition, environmental condition, geographical condition, and more important, the psychological condition of the people who were affected. This is really a good response, and definitely India is moving ahead in terms of the rescue and disaster management and also disaster risk reduction. In true sense, it has proved that disaster management and disaster risk reduction.
Professor Santosh Kumar, in terms of the entire gamut of disaster management, not just the kind of resources that India has, the kind of knowledge base that it has, the experience that it has, to what extent do you think this sort of a rescue operation will enrich it further, will give lessons to all those people involved, and this might really become a study for them?
Definitely. Of course, like if you say, that when we talk about this, the response happened in the cyclone Fani and other cyclone and other disaster which happened in the country. We gone with this kind of a zero tolerance kind of approach, where the Honorable Prime Minister said that we should reduce it to zero, and that so disaster mortality has come down drastically. So this is one kind of a way of success. But the second point is that with the tunneling rescue and search and rescue operations, we didn't have much experience in the past, like this kind of a scale of response. But the way the resource, the strategy, and the thinking, that monitoring, so that all coordinated effort which took place, that is a real things to be understood in disaster management response system. We had a kind of a collaborative engagement with the United States earlier also for developing a incident response system kind of a thing. But this particular case, which we said that this kind of an event which has happened 17 days, they were trapped and constantly engaged with the dialogue with the victims. This is a kind of a stupendous, and this we say that is a real transformatory nature in whole of the global response search and rescue system, in deep tunneling system. So this has also given us that new learning for mining disaster. This is also for the tunneling disaster, and also for any man-made disaster which happen along with the natural disaster. So what I'm saying, the theory emerges from here now. What we say observation to theory, what we have drawn lessons, which are not written in the book also, but what we have seen here, the way it has gone, we need to draw those lessons for the future also, for strengthening that. Here the smallest, that what we say, the frontline worker, the way they have taken that kind of a courage to response, and the kind of the frontline worker to the highest kind of a techno-driven kind of like we say that along with the Director General of National Disaster Response Force, state disaster response force and all the machinery, which we say the district administration and the local administration, so including Chief Minister and the Prime Minister, I would just say there's a real bringing a good note in terms of that how one is that saving lives of the people that become the top priority of the country and where we could succeed. The second important thing that how we can draw the leverage in terms of this, what kind of a learning which we have drawn. So it's a wonderful thing, and that the country was waiting for such kind of everybody was very kind of worried and in anxiety that what will happen. Wherever we are going and meeting, we say that 41 number, and then the Uttarakhand, that was coming in the news and constantly as a concern. So this kind of a rescue operation is a real to be developed in the copybook style and the new standard operational procedures it will bring. So I'm very much, I would like to say that compliment to everyone who were engaged from top to the frontline worker of that. So this is a very, very good lessons for the improving the disaster response system.
Well, certainly, no doubt.
Which we say this not only for India, but also for the global learning process. I'm saying that India would take the,
India has already given help in so many neighboring countries wherever required. We've seen what we've done in Nepal, even earlier this year. Now, Professor Pandey, in terms of the kind of challenges that India faces where natural disasters are concerned, there are landslides, of course, and avalanches in the hills, earthquakes as well, in almost any part of the country. Lately, entire North India is prone to it. So in all these situations, you think all that has been gleaned from this experience, especially in that challenging geological situation, the kind of mountains that the Shivaliks are, how do you think this will make a difference?
The entire Himalaya is under risk zone. It is a very active seismic zone in the suture zone, and there is a constant heavy windward rainfall which is creating the mass movement and the mass wasting at the larger scale. So in terms of earthquake, in terms of mass wasting, in terms of landslide, mud flow, earth flow, all kinds of disaster which happen in Himalaya, earlier there were large-scale loss of the life and property. But day by day, the way India is learning.
Yes, go ahead.
Kind of logical development, response development, and the kind of the technological know-how, India is performing better and better. So the kind of risk reduction, the kind of the rescue, all these will set an example for the future direction. Definitely, the coordinated effect of the government response to the local level and the at least more than 140 crore people were praying for the rescue, safe rescue of these people. So all these throughout the Himalayan geo system, this response will be an ideal example for the future rescue operations. Definitely, day by day, India is getting alert, right from the impact of the cyclones to the landslides, with the tunnel construction, road construction. India is an emerging economy where the kind of construction of roads, railways, airports will continue. Been coming 2 or 3, 4 decades. India is a transition economy. So this kind of developmental works will definitely pose the risk. And for the risk reduction, this kind of coordinated efforts that will bring the results. Definitely, it is a really good message for the entire global community, emerging India's power in terms of rescue and operations.
And Professor Kumar, if you could add to how this will also lead to positioning of India as a source of not just knowledge but experience as well for the entire world, because extreme weather is just one thing, but there are so many other challenges that nature throws up as well, especially if it's coupled with human intervention.
Definitely, because this kind of an event, which as whole globe was looking at this, that how India is going to respond to this kind of a situation, whether the workers would be rescued or not, is a big question mark. But now we can say that the kind of coordination, the kind of professionalism, the kind of scientific learning, the knowledge base, and that all were put to use in a very orchestrated manner, in a very synchronized manner, so that the panic of the victims could be avoided. So what I'm saying is this, that it's all working collectively. The Honorable Prime Minister 10-point agenda for the disaster risk reduction. On the 10-point agenda, we are saying that building local response system also and developing a preparedness mechanism. What we say that seeing is believing. Just only referring to the 10-point agenda of the Prime Minister will not do. But here, that how India has been able to demonstrate those things, that what 10-point agenda is talking about and whether it actually is translating on the ground or not. So this is the example that how we are building our response system, how we are building our technology, how we are building our skill of the human resource, and how that can be brought in a very coordinated manner. So this is the kind of the approach is not happened in a day. So over the years, that the effort which have been put in for building disaster system in the country, in terms of strong institutional system, the strong risk reduction mechanism, a strong response mechanism, strong preparedness mechanism. So that is all working. And then Honorable Prime Minister has also mentioned about go to the youth of the country. So how that universities and the research organizations can come together and put their knowledge into the practice. So all these kind of, and where National Institute of Disaster Management also created the point 10 agenda of the Prime Minister 6, that were bringing all universities and institutions together for disaster risk reduction. So we have been able to develop 270 members already on the board, including IIM, IITs, and the National Institute. So what I'm saying, the point which I'm trying to make with this example, that it's not that here alone Honorable Prime Minister is leaving. What the mandate which has given, which constantly hammered by our Honorable Union Home Minister as well, that how we can go and build the local capacity, bring youth on the mainstream. So what I'm saying is this is the kind of that must have motivated many of the youth who are in the country, that how we can bring pride to the country in doing a wonderful rescue with a zero error. So here, although we had kind of ups and downs during the rescue operation, but finally that all and everyone, all 41 brought safer, and this is a real Diwali and celebrations for the country.
Well, definitely all the families are celebrating the return of their dear ones who were trapped inside, and the nation is celebrating it as well. Let me quickly go across to the Bendu Mondal, my colleague, once again in Uttarakhand, close to the Silkyari tunnel, where a health center, a district health center has been turned into a makeshift hospital where the workers were expected one worker each being carried in an ambulance. Dibendu, what update do you have? Have the workers arrived over there? We seem to be having a bit of an issue with the Bendu's audio at the moment. We'll try and reconnect as and when possible. But Professor Pandey, in terms of how we've seen things being put in place for this rescue effort as well, the extent of coordination that was there, whatever was required was given, from food, water, oxygen, to changes in the mode of approach to the entire problem, how to solve it as well. It kept evolving with the changing situation, and it was very dynamic. What do you make of how things were, really, how did they progress in terms of this rescue effort? As each challenge came up, a solution was found.
See, this is the beauty of this rescue operation, when the critical conditions and the patience that kept the rescue operation alive. And definitely the step by step, no doubt there were certain failures during the rescue operation, but these failures were also becoming learning. And the kind of connectivity, the communication, and supplying of the food, connecting their psychological strength, and all that worked. And finally, I'm very thankful to our Prime Minister that the kind of the NIDM and NDMA, the institutional pattern of India, which becomes so strong, which is very short span of time. So I remember in the 90s, the establishment of the NIDM, then later on NTMA, and how within the 3 decades, the kind of response has emerged, which has become example at the global level. So that coordinations and the kind of connectivity with the tribe people, and they were in the hope that people are working for them. That made them psychologically strong, and they kept their morale high. And also the kind of response from technology to the manual labor, the cutting, tunneling, kind of all through the coordinated efforts from single person at the ground level to the Prime Minister office, Chief Minister office, the Honorable Transport Minister, the Honorable Home Minister, all the coordinations and the rescue, the advances, informations, which were collected and planned in a very well-phased manner, so that the kind of success must be assured. And finally, I do remember, if it could have been done in the Aravalli Mountain or Western Ghats or the Central Mountain of India, that could have very easy, because that's very old, hard structured rocks.
Well, we're running live pictures right now. The rescued workers are being brought to the community health center there, close to the site where the rescue has been conducted in Silkyari. These are images that we're getting along with my colleague, the Bendu model, who were trying to get in touch with just a short while back. But we don't have him right now, but I can show you these pictures on your screens right now. They've arrived at this medical center, which has been made into a makeshift hospital, where they will be under the observation of doctors who've been placed there for at least 48 hours. Although these workers seem to be fairly all right in terms of their health, when they themselves chose to crawl out of the tunnel there, not using stretchers to be pulled out, and they seemed pretty in high spirits, really. When they came out, they were smiling, raising their victory signs, and they were raising their thumbs as well. They were felicitated by the Chief Minister as well. So they seemed fine, but still, as a precaution, they will be under observation for 48 hours before any other next steps are taken at this makeshift hospital. Now, Professor Kumar, if I could again come to you in terms of the lessons once again, because right now there is going to be an audit of this particular tunnel as to what happened, why did it happen, this collapse, and what else could have been done to make things safer there for these workers, and things don't develop to such an extent that a massive rescue effort has to be launched. But as Professor Pandey also mentioned, India is a developing country. A lot of people would say that, the ecology of the mountains should not be disrupted, but roads have to be built, other infrastructure has to be built, dams have to be built, not just to ensure that India develops the way it is developing, setting the fastest pace among all the large economies, but also there are security reasons as well. So that can't stop. So going forward, what needs to be kept in mind to ensure that we develop the way that we want to develop at the pace that we want to develop, but at the same time, it is sustainable?
Yeah, well, the development, we say that this is a much more required thing for the safety and also for the development of the people's whole aspirations of young India. So what is that to be done in terms of that how we are going to make a kind of a resilient development? The challenge is that how we are going to make our development intervention or investment in a resilient fashion, so that this kind of accidents can be avoided for the future development. Side by side, if at all it happens, we should be prepared to take this as a kind of the wonderful rescue operation which was conducted in this manner. So point which we are taking is that once that you go for development, and also side by side build your capacity, so that the resilience is there, development is there, so the sustenance is there. So all three phases can be combined. If we show that we do not take any development efforts, whichever a part of the country, then probably that many questions would come in terms of that our own skills, our own competence, our own aspirations, our own challenges. So that we say that how we can make as a very balanced balanced development in terms of we have to have a kind of all sectoral approach where all sectors have to mainstream disaster resilience approach, where we can say that yes, X infrastructure will be there and it will sustain. So what are the resilience factors are to be factored in, must be brought in. So as you said that audit would be there, and so many measures would be taken. So maybe this is a cause and effect analysis have to be done now. One is that how it happened and what were the impact, the one cause and effect about the accident. But the second important is also the cause and effect in terms of how we went through and what were the effect. The effect was that all were rescued in a very, very kind of a jovial manner. So both ways. So what worked and where we actually all need to improve further, the kind of challenges which we are taking. So it's a constant and very dynamic process, and we should learn lessons and also move ahead in terms of drawing lessons from the accidents or what happened, and also the good rescue which could perform.
Certainly one has to have a holistic perspective about it, and life, as you say, must go on, and India needs to develop, and that has to be kept paramount while taking all precautions. Ensuring safety is, of course, right on top, among with other priorities that the nation has. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about it, Professor Kumar and Professor Pandey.
Thank you.
Now, India's Information Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has also reacted to the successful evacuation of 41 trapped workers in the tunnel. He's posted on X, and I quote, "After over 2 weeks of untiring efforts, our engineers, technicians and staff of the rescue team have safely rescued all 41 people trapped inside an under-construction Silkyara-Barkot tunnel at Uttarakhand. Concerned with the safety and security of people trapped inside, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was personally monitoring this rescue operation, which was one of the trickiest and difficult ones. But our rescuers overcame all stupendous challenges and ensured a ray of light at the end of the tunnel." Uttarakhand CM Pushkar Singh Dhami left no stone unturned and remained on standby throughout the operation. The ordeal is over now. It's time for the reunion. And India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also tweeted, and I quote again, if you look at the screen, he's mentioned how these people have come out safe and secure, and this is something that has given him a lot of joy. And he said that the entire nation, its eyes were peeled on this entire rescue operation, and the entire nation now is heaving a sigh of relief. And it has become one of joy for all the family members and the near and dear ones of these rescued workers as well. And he said that he's congratulated him. He said this was a very tough operation and it's been conducted and carried out with complete success. No one has come to any harm. And he's thanked all the agencies such as NDRF, SDRF, Uttarakhand Police and the Indian Army for it as well. And he is really hailing them with all his heart. He's also spoken about how Prime Minister Modi himself was constantly monitoring this entire rescue operation, along with taking updates from Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami. And he was there, the Chief Minister, at the spot as well, keeping a peeled eye on all the work that was being done, monitoring it and giving directions when necessary. And he has said that all these people, the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister, the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari and General VK Singh, they have also played a very, very key role, and he is very, very appreciative of their role as well. And that's all we have for the moment. Any further updates, and you can catch them here on DD India as far as this rescue mission is concerned, or all the updates that come in from the world as well. Keep watching DD India for all the latest.